Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk About It, where we have unfiltered lifestyle conversations for couples who want more connection, more honesty, and more adventure. Now, this podcast is intended for adults 18 and over and is not a safe for work podcast. Keep in mind, we're not experts, therapists, or counselors. We're just a real couple sharing our experiences in the lifestyle and the lessons that we've learned along the way. Please remember that every relationship and every dynamic is different, and what works for us may not work for everyone. Hey, everybody, and thanks for joining in for our very first episode of Let's Talk About It. And as you're joining, I want to say thank you for joining and bear with us as things may be a little rough at first. Are completely new to this. 100% don't really know what we're doing, but we're learning along the way. So hopefully things will get better and improve as we go along and figure out all the tech stuff and maybe upgrade equipment down the road, things like that. But always open to suggestions as well. But bear with us as we work through this. And thank you for being here. So this is our first episode. It's going to be more like just a get to know us, who we are while we're doing this kind of thing. Probably won't be as long as some other episodes, but just kind of the basics. If you maybe haven't been following us that long, haven't heard much of our story. So first, just to introduce ourselves, if you don't know me, my name is Amber.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're married. We've been married for a few years now, been together for longer, but we'll get more into that when we talk about our relationship. But we are the Savage Swingers, as you probably know us as from social media. And so just a little bit about me. I'm just someone that likes having new experiences, having fun times, connecting with people, talking to people, that sort of thing. So one thing to know about me is that naturally I am an introvert. I know some people are a little surprised by that when they don't know me because they see me on TikTok and social media. But that is something I've just had to learn how to do. And I have had to learn over time how to lean more into my extroverted side. But naturally, I'm an introvert. So, like, if I didn't push myself and make myself be more extroverted, I'd probably be sitting at the table in the back of the party, not chatting with a lot of people. It's definitely a skill I've learned over time, but I do generally enjoy talking to people, connecting with people. I'm just not as often the initiator of the start of the conversations, but I like getting to know people. And okay, I'm getting a look. You got something to say about that?
Yeah, that would be an understatement of not initiating conversations.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, relationships are about balance. So I'm the introverted one, and Jeff over there is the more extroverted one.
Only because I have to be.
Only because he has to. He just is. He doesn't give himself enough credit on that, but he really is. He'll strike up conversations randomly with just about anybody when we're at events and things. It definitely helps, but to my time in the lifestyle has probably helped with that some too, even though it's been a slower journey. But neither one of us was in the lifestyle prior, so this is something that was new to both of us, and obviously something we enjoy doing. I enjoy letting people know just about our journey. So that brings us here. Babe, why don't you tell them a little bit about you?
Apparently I'm the more extroverted one, although I would definitely deny that if you didn't know me longer. I'm one of those, I don't really meet a stranger. I can talk to anybody. I kind of blend in with the situation, but I also like to people watch. So the lifestyle was just kind of a natural progression for me.
Mm,
As far as like, so I guess between the two of us, I guess I'm the extroverted one. Sure, yeah. But no, I don't really have a hard time going up and talking to people as long as I can carry on a conversation with them. When it comes to things outside of the lifestyle, most of the times you can find me at a hockey rink if I'm not injured. If it's not there, I'm usually hanging out at friends' houses or just hanging out at the house. I like to do a little reading, watch a lot of History Channel or
Yeah,
history
documentaries and shows.
documentaries, that
Yeah,
would be a
you
good
do.
way to explain it.
That's one
And I
thing we
watch
don't have in common, but
and, I like watching sports and going to sporting events. That's about me. I like to
mhm.
people watch, so when I go to places, I'm usually watching other people as opposed to anything else.
Which lifestyle events are a good place for people watching, but
That is very true.
yeah, I guess I didn't really say anything about my hobbies or anything. I know that I feel like social media is my big hobby because I spend so much time on it. Outside of that, I do also like sports, doing things outside, taking a walk outside, going to the park, going to a waterfall, which we have a lot of really awesome waterfalls in our areas. That's a plus to where we live. Oh, and one thing that I don't think you mentioned is music. We're both big music fans, so we love going to concerts and music festivals and that sort of thing. So, but that's just a little bit about us. So we'll kind of go back here to how we met. So we started talking, and eventually, obviously, we started dating, and we're married now. So that worked out.
Yeah, a lot of persistence, but don't let her make it sound like it was that easy.
You were persistent, but it was, if you hadn't been persistent, we would not be sitting here right now. But we both were in kind of a similar place when we met. During that time frame, we had both been single, not a terribly long time, but long enough. And we were both tired of bad relationships and all of that kind of thing, and just kind of wanted to not necessarily look for a relationship. I don't think either one of us were looking for that. More just looking for fun because we were kind of happy being ourselves, not having to alter anything for someone else in a relationship, not trying to please someone else. So we were in a kind of a similar place when we met, I think. So, and like he said, he was persistent. He would drive, what, about 2 hours to come see me? So,
I
he
was gonna
did
say
that
that.
he did that pretty regularly, so, the persistence worked, and here we are now. Anything else you have any thoughts on when we met? Hey guys, real quick, I wanna let you know, we do have a way for you to reach us. If you have comments you wanna give us directly, or questions, or things you'd like covered in an upcoming episode, you can send us a text or leave us a voicemail at 615-606-2922. Again, you can leave us a voicemail or you can text us at 615-606-2222. Hope to hear from you.
Any thoughts on how we met?
Or the beginning stages, I
The
guess.
beginning
Just
stages of how we met? No, not really. I mean, like you said, we started talking and then you disappeared for a little bit and
I did. I was dating someone.
then I was hanging out at a friend's house and all of a sudden you reappeared again. And it's been unicorns and rainbows and sunshine and happy flowers and ever since. No, we've been together, let's see, we'll be married 3, together for 5 before that, so it'll be 8 years this upcoming year.
Yeah. Yep. That's about right.
9 years, my math is off.
I can't do math in my head, so I'm not even trying to figure out, y'all. He can do math in his head. I can't. Give me a piece of paper and a pen. I'm good. I can do math, but in my head, I just know my brain won't work that way. So, like, don't ask me to figure that up on the spot. I mean, pen and paper, I'm good. But yeah, so we met. We had started talking, dating, obviously, for a bit, and it was fairly early on in the dating stage or relationship stage, however you wanna say that. Um,
Courting stage.
courting stage. Does anybody say that anymore?
Hey, we're old enough to say it.
Um, oh, well, maybe. But we had really good communication early on. Like, we were both, and I think it's that just comes from that place in life we were at where we wanted to be ourselves and not, alter to please other people. So we had really good communication up front. We were just very open and honest about who we were and things we were interested in. So it just progressed well. It worked well. We discovered we were both kind of adventurous and kind of wanting to try some new things. So,
without being judged on it.
yeah, without being judged, which was, we were on the same page with things like that. So I wouldn't say we ever really had like one big conversation lifestyle wise. It was more like a bunch of little conversations that led up to, "Hey, let's try this thing," and
That was
that was
fun.
fun. Yeah, let's try something else, and let's keep adding things to get to where we are now. But I definitely think being able to communicate and not be judged was a very good foundation and definitely helped to get us here.
No, I agree. That's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, there wasn't any, like you said, there was a bunch of small conversations. Probably the biggest one we had was within 3 months of us meeting, and it was the conversation. Okay, here's kind of the rules of me. It's this, 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 and this. And if you don't like it,
Then bye.
it was nice knowing you.
Yeah,
If you're cool with it, then okay, we're good.
right.
And she
Yeah.
had her set of, I'm not going to compromise on these, and I had my set that I wasn't going to compromise on, and we've gone from there. And for the most part, everything else has been small conversations here or there. Ooh, that was fun. Let's try this. Or, maybe not so much. There's been several different conversations over the last 9 years.
Very true. And I think too, there's a lot of people be like, "Well, how did y'all get in the lifestyle? Who brought it up? What was the conversation like?" And because it's like people expect that we had one big conversation where we're like, "Hey, we should do all these things," but we didn't. We had just a bunch of small conversations. It started to from, "Hey, I'm bi," to, "Hey, I want to try this sometime." Okay, we tried that together, and that was fun. So let's try this other thing. So it was just a lot of little conversations. And I know there are some people that get into a relationship and together for a while, and then there was somebody brings it up and they do have a big conversation. So that's common for a lot of people. That just wasn't our story. So yeah, basically it was a lot of little conversations and our journey it was slow. We definitely did not rush things. We took our time with trying a new thing. And part of that was just having the time to be able to do that and the know how to find what we were looking for. And part of it was just, making sure we were both really comfortable. Everybody should always go at the pace of the slowest person. But we did start out like our first experience was with the unicorn and it happened kind of random. I'll get more into that in a little bit, but and we were on the different online apps and dating apps and like groups on Facebook and that kind of stuff. And anybody who's ever done any type of online dating, that can be frustrating because people ghost, people have there's fake accounts, people will appear one way and then you meet them in their different way. So it was frustrating. And in the first couple
It's just,
years or whatever it was, we were just looking for thirds to start out. And that got frustrating after a while. But I later came across some TikToks from Lacey and Dan. You all might be familiar with them from Swing Nation and Swing Nation podcast, that is, and thought they were interesting and had started watching that, started listening to their podcast, and it kind of did pique my interest, the whole just swinging and couples hooking up with couples. I was like, okay, well, this might be maybe, if there's enough people involved in this kind of community, could be a way for us to experiment more. So I guess in that manner, you could say I kind of brought it up because I think I don't remember if I played a TikTok or a podcast or something.
no, it was the
It was
podcast.
it was
You
the
sent it to
podcast.
me.
That's right, because you always listen to podcast at work, so I sent you an episode of the podcast. So what were your thoughts on that?
Didn't really have any disagreements. I mean, for not ever being in the lifestyle previous, I kind of knew about it through various other people that I
Mhm.
knew from my past. So it wasn't a total ignorance on my part of it.
Right.
So I was kind of game for it. I'm not much of a, well, let's think about it. No, I'm kind of like, it's
Let's
probably
go.
going to be a yes or it's probably going to be a no right off the bat. And like she said, we're pretty adventurous people. So I was kind of like, sure, why not?
Yeah, so I mean, and I too, I'd say I knew a little bit. I've heard a little bit. I didn't know, heard people talking about it before, of course, seen it on TV and stuff. Or somebody tell you the stuff you see on TV and movies is a little far-fetched at times, but so I was somewhat familiar with it, had never been in it before. Well, I mean, I had a couple threesomes before, if you count that as somewhat lifestyle. I mean, it's non-monogamy, so, I was like, "Okay, this might be a fun thing to explore." So we had listened to the podcast, and we kinda started learning more through listening to different podcasts and, information online, and thought we'd give it a shot. Definitely say I personally was quite nervous in the beginning, not really knowing what to expect, but obviously it was a good experience.
Definitely wasn't a bad one. I mean, you kinda as we've moved along, we've learned what works and what hasn't worked, and kinda like most
Mhm.
things with us, you kinda go in with a game plan, but, Mike Tyson kinda had it right. That game plan goes right out the window once you get punched in the face the first time, and when you're in a group of people and you're at a hotel takeover for the first time and you see all sorts of people there and you start thinking about things. They can get a little overwhelming and intimidating, but after, you kind of get acclimated to the situation that you're in, you kind of realize, wait a minute, everybody's here for the same reason.
It's very
Relax,
true.
enjoy yourself. It's been a fun ride and hope it continues further.
Well, let's backtrack here because I know I briefly mentioned this when I was talking a little bit ago. Because people always ask, what was y'all's very first experience like? So we're going to go way back to our very first experience in non-monogamy, and that
You
was with a unicorn.
you mean all the way back to
Oh,
Blue Ridge 22?
gosh, that adventure. Was with a unicorn. It was at a music festival. And we were camping at the festival. So yes, it was camping. It was in a tent. Now don't get me wrong, I'm a little bit of a bougie camper. I bring a lot of stuff and fans and stuff, but there's still camping's probably not the ideal, but it worked out. We were actually in a Facebook group for people in it's kind of a group. It's either in like some sort of kink lifestyle, whether it's swinging, non-monogamy, BDSM. It was just in general kink group, and we really hadn't talked to her prior to the festival, even though we had been in the group for a little while, made posts, talked to some people. But once we were there, she had started messaging me and said she had seen our information on the group and wanted to know if we wanted to hang out. So we did. So there was definitely some positives and negatives to the situation.
Like, I would say the experience was an overall success, but
Mhm.
going back on it, as rookies, it was a success, but as seasoned pros now,
We were
we're a lot
disappointed.
of, like, stuff we weren't prepared for,
Yeah.
things we didn't expect, things we've learned that we would prefer in future partners.
Like, being able to have a adult conversation.
That would be one of
She was a sweet girl, but she was significantly younger than we were, so and just it came across. I would not say she was overly mature for her age, and it just the conversations were
you could tell there were the only thing that we had similar to her other outside of the lifestyle would have been, hey, we both like
the
music. That would have been it. There wasn't much else. After she came over, we hung out for a bit and we kinda talked. It's a music festival, so you kinda have a little fun and everything as you're talking. The age difference really came through. You could tell that we were from different generations. You could tell that we
Mhm.
had different interests. So now that would probably be considered a red flag, but
Yeah,
but then we were just kinda caught up in the moment and it's kinda like, "Okay,
just
hey,
being newbies.
this is actually working. There's nothing bad going on yet, so let's keep going with it." And, well, as the night went along,
The whole actual, play experience of it, I think went okay. It wasn't perfect, but it went fairly well. I did have a moment I got a little like jealous, felt a little left out with the attention, but I mean, I think I handled it pretty well in the moment.
you mean the look?
I did, but you knew but yeah, I tapped you and gave you the look, and
Actually, you actually said
I
so.
think I said, "Hey, let's switch things up." But, yeah, I mean, I wasn't, like, hateful to anyone, I didn't stop anything, it was just kinda like, "Hey, switch," because it wasn't like horrible, but it was just like, okay, I need us to readjust here. So I did. So that was a first experience with that, and I think it went fairly well.
And
Oh,
then now
mhm.
and then it came up to the perpetual running joke now of our lifestyle experience, especially
Oh
amongst our
my gosh, you want to go ahead and tell that
yeah, why
embarrassing,
not? I
funny
mean,
story? So we were all having a good time getting into it, and things were happening with mouths and fingers and places, and then all of a sudden she realized that she was bleeding from down there.
yeah, sorry about that. Apparently, my fingernail had cut her in a
Mhm.
very sensitive area, and it immediately stopped everything.
Yeah, she
Kinda
started kind of freaking out.
yeah,
It
we
freaked
all
her
kinda
out.
did at
We
first, and then we
Yeah.
kinda realized, "Oh, wait, okay." We assessed the situation and got it somewhat resolved to a certain extent.
Yeah, yeah, it calmed down and it went okay, but yeah, that was just it did kind of definitely stop the play time though after that. But hey, we learned lessons like
Pedicures are
to
an important thing for me.
manicures, not pedicures.
Manicures,
You know, now
manicures.
you're really gonna have people thinking
Sorry, wrong word.
manicures. Okay. One of the most common questions that we get is how do we meet other people in the lifestyle? Guys, it's 2025 and a lot of lifestylers are hiding in plain sight because they have to be discreet. So, online is how most people get started in a great way to meet people and to start building those connections, especially when you're new. There are a ton of different lifestyle dating apps and sites out there. Our personal favorite is SDC. We just find it to be super user friendly and we've had the most success on it. However, keep in mind results will vary. And if you want to check it out, you can check out the link in our bio. There's also a promo code that'll get you a free month. So check that out and see if you like it. Okay, so let's address another common question that we get asked quite a bit is, and not just obviously in the lifestyle, but then also like people on social media tend to ask this a lot. What is your dynamic? It's a very popular question. So, our dynamic, honestly, it is anything up to full swap, anything less than full swap. We are typically same room. Now, we have made some exceptions to that, and that is only if it is same gender play. So, like if it's me and another female, then we may make an exception. We both like to watch. We like to be watched. So, parallel plays open, threesomes, full swap. So, yeah, pretty much anything up to full swap, just typically same room, unless it's one of those exceptions for same gender. I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up, don't you, babe?
Yeah, that
Mm.
does it about. That's all I can think of.
Yeah.
We
So,
we've gone from very strict kind of this, and this to okay. As long as we know what the other person's doing, we're pretty much kind of open to the idea of what other people come to us with, but we're not going to sacrifice our safeguards for other people's happiness.
yeah, and that's one thing too. And along our journey, we started, like I said, we kind of added things slowly. Like first, it was just same gender play, and then we added, okay, well, let's try a threesome. So we did with a female, and then with a male, and then we went up to swinging, in which we had lots of experiences just watching, being watched, some parallel play, until we actually did get a full swap in. But it's definitely we've grown and changed throughout the time. We've kind of learned, how things work, how the lifestyle is, things we like and don't like, and the boundaries. Boundaries is always a very important conversation because you need to know what you're comfortable with. Your partner needs to know what you're comfortable with. You need to know what they're comfortable with. Where's that boundary? Because you always want to respect your partner first and foremost. And one thing we have, like he had mentioned just a moment ago, we both have a veto card. Pretty much, if there's something, it doesn't matter if it's a single female, if it's a single male, if it's a couple, if they're interested in both of us, one of us, whatever. We both have a full veto card. If we don't like something about that person, we feel like something is off about them, either one of us can say, no, they're blacklisted. not going there. And that's just an agreement we have because, this is something extra we do. It's not something we need to do. So it's the best way. It keeps everyone comfortable and safe. So, but yeah, when we first started out, when we first had our boundaries talks, we had I think we had a list.
Knowing us, we probably did have a list.
Yeah, we're both list makers. But I think we made a list that it had to be at least a page long,
Something like
maybe
that.
longer.
Probably if I dig around long enough, I'll find
We
it.
we might still have it somewhere. It was a lot because I mean, we sat around and we would think of
Yeah,
every different scenario.
yeah, we literally did. We would sit around and like, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? What about this? And what if this happens? And then others, it was kind of things we experienced in person. Like,
Yeah. There's definitely stuff that we have experienced in person that we did not have on that first list.
right, like, uh, a chick walks by and grabs you by the goatee and spins you around? What do you do in that
Oh my
situation?
gosh. Not stand there like a deer in headlights.
No,
Y'all, it was our first lifestyle event.
don't know what you're talking
First,
about.
first it was a big event. It was a hotel takeover. We actually had volunteered to
Watch the pool.
watch the pool party for a shift. So we're both kind of basically just going around and make sure nobody's sneaking drinks in and make sure there's no
And
trash laying around and yeah,
and no
nobody's
sex.
having sex out in the
No
public
sexual
area.
acts in the pool area.
So I'm on one side and he's across I don't know how
No, it
many,
wasn't even that
not even
far. It was at
that
the bottom
far.
of the
About
steps,
how many feet would you
maybe like
say?
30 feet from you.
Yeah, so I'm
I was walking
doing
back to you. I
something.
just made a lap around the
Okay.
pool doing the no sex check.
And this hot blonde chick walks up to
Brunette.
him. Oh, was she brunette? I thought she was blonde.
Nope, she was
Oh, okay. Oh, you should remember. And he comes up and just all flirty, starts just rubs her hands through his goatee or her
no,
fingers
she
or
she, like,
pulls
as
on
she
it. Is that
walks
what she
by,
did?
she grabs my goatee and kinda gives it a nice little playful tug. Like
Mm.
like like, if she'd have tugged it any harder, I woulda, followed her, like you would see in, the old cartoons, is kinda how it happened. Like, I've literally never seen it happen in person, and I was more dumbfounded and kinda awestruck that it happened to me.
And I'm standing there because I just happen to be looking over and see him at this time. So I see the whole thing and I'm like, okay, how's he going to react? He stands there.
Like a high school boy getting asked to dance at prom,
Uh,
like,
he just stands there. And I'm like,
I didn't know what to do because, well, first time I've ever had a chick, kinda hit on me in front of my wife. That's a different experience. It doesn't matter how many times you've talked about it. If it's the first time you've experienced, you still have that kind of, "Is she okay with this?"
I would have been more okay
Oh,
if
I
you
know
would
you
have
would
reacted.
have.
I did. I fussed at him
Yeah,
later.
she gave you crap about
I
it.
was like, really? Really? She did that? And you gave her nothing. Like, it's to me, if I would do that to a guy and he just looks at me and has no reaction, I'm going to feel insulted. I'm like, wow, okay. I was like, man, you did nothing. You gave her nothing.
I
But he's learned to grow,
yep, next time
grown.
I'm just following.
What did I say?
There's no words, you're just gonna see me, I'll wave as I walk by you.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, but as we got into it, even with our long list of thought out boundaries, we did so good developing. We've obviously experienced a lot of those things and realized a lot of it, I think, was things we were just worried. Okay, this could turn out bad. So let's not do this and not do this. We've kind of learned that we're both very go with the flow and we communicate well. So we've definitely adjusted
Right.
some of those boundaries. We're definitely more relaxed than we were. I mean, there are still boundaries we have that we discuss. We have our boundary discussion before events. We'll touch base after events. We'll have it just periodically if one of us thinks of something. So boundaries and communication is an ongoing conversation.
And just, like, a quick aside, just because you have boundaries set doesn't mean that they're always the same.
Mm,
We've had boundaries
true.
for certain events that we don't have for other events. We've literally gone to an event and said, "We're not doing anything." Point
Mhm.
blank, doesn't matter what anybody wants to do with us. Point blank, we're not playing at this party. So your boundaries can change literally from party to party
Mhm.
event to event or even day to day if you're at an event.
Or couple to couple. Say
Right,
there's
there
a
you go.
couple you're more comfortable with and you wanna have some different boundaries with them. The main thing it just
It's
all
your
comes back to
comfortability.
well, comfort and just communication. As
Yeah.
long as both people are comfortable with it and everybody's communicating, that kind of thing, then yeah, like your boundaries should change and develop over time. Like I feel like most everybody has that I've had a conversation with. Like things are going to change. You're going to learn what you're okay with, or maybe some you thought you were okay with that you're not okay with. You'll figure it out.
Or
So,
vice versa.
and it's definitely been a fun adventure. We love the lifestyle. Obviously, our main reason for getting into it was we wanted to explore, and we feel like we have a safe base to do that, to have like new adventures, try new things, and we're in a safe place to do that. We still have each other and our relationship stays strong regardless. So, yeah, so we enjoy it. And, as we got into it more too, it's just awesome to see the community. Everyone, for the most part, well, I'll never say everyone because there's always bad apples in every group. Doesn't matter what you do, but there's going to be bad apples sneak through from time to time. For
Which is
some,
or there it's not even bad apples. There's just gonna be people that you don't get along with.
well, yeah.
Personality
Oh,
conflicts
yeah, that's
or
gonna
they
happen.
may be a certain type that, again, I guess it's more personality conflicts, but you may not agree with them or you may not see eye to eye with them. So
Yeah.
it's not all, it's just like any group. You get more than 3 people together, there's gonna be conflict about something. So,
Mm,
just try to minimize it.
that's true. It will definitely happen, but, we love the community and the groups that we're in, that we're involved in, and that we've met, and we've made a lot of friendships from the lifestyle as well now, like, we have friends that we will and it's not just lifestyle stuff, like
Trivia nights.
trivia nights, yeah, we're together for trivia nights, we've gotten together with people for trivia nights, we've met up with people just for
Just to
random dinner,
go to
like
dinner or just
yeah,
go chill out.
there's like these are also our friends now. There's a lot of pluses, and it's been a great way to meet new people. And usually, it's you have at least some things in common, obviously, because you're both in the lifestyle. So, and people in the lifestyle, in general, a lot of them do tend to be a little more open minded. Um, I'm kinda easygoing, so, we've met a lot of good people. Definitely, we have a lot of friends from the lifestyle. It's not all sunshine and roses, it's people. People are not perfect, so sometimes people are gonna do things you don't like, and sometimes there will be a little bit of conflict here and there. No group is perfect, so it's just real life, and that's one thing I wanna, mention as that's part of the goal of this podcast is to put out there just the realness, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is, let's talk about it. So, um, I'd say right now, I would say we have a lot of like lifestyle challenges. Finding time, I think, is our biggest challenge and our location. I mean, we both work 40 hours a week or more. Obviously, we have to take time to make this content and other things. So, and have a family and other responsibilities. There's time, but we need added time due to our location. We're in a rural part of Tennessee. We're in a little town that has around 2,000 people, and there is a larger town that's not 10 minutes down the road, but it's still not that much larger. Like, there's no really lifestyle get together places or anything. So, we're normally traveling over an hour.
There's 2 places within an hour's drive of us,
Yeah,
and we've only been to one of them, but we've been to it 2 or 3
couple.
times now.
Yeah, yeah. So, typically, most of the get-togethers that we go to, the hotel takeovers, all that, we're going an hour and a half maybe, and we go to other stuff too, sometimes that's farther, that's out of state, but usually it's, when you have to go an hour and a half, and bless him, Jeff already drives over an hour one way to work 5 days a week, so he's already making that drive and spending all that time in the car, so it's like on the weekends, and if we do go to something too because most of the events and get-togethers are kind of late, and it's with all the driving a lot of times, that also means for us, well, let's just get a hotel. So as you can imagine, we don't like to do that too often because it can definitely get pricey, but, we're dealing with it. We do try to go to at least one event a month. last year. The last few months, we didn't get to do a whole lot because of some other stuff going on, but that's our goal, I guess. But okay, so why are we doing this? Why are we making let's talk about it. And honestly, this whole thing is kind of my project, although you've been really supportive.
Oh, thanks.
But when we were initially getting in the lifestyle and learning things, to me, I found it comforting to see other people that were putting their lifestyle info on there, like on TikTok and listening to podcasts. It just, I don't know, it made it more comfortable, made me feel like, okay, maybe there's actually more people out there in this lifestyle than I thought. And newsflash, there is. But it just made me comfortable seeing other people share their experiences. And I just kind of wanted to do the same, and just spread awareness about the lifestyle and do it in an authentic and truthful manner, like not sugarcoat. Because, like if you're looking at the ads for, say, a club or something, you're seeing these picture perfect, like supermodel looking people partying and having a great time, which is awesome. I mean, we party and have a great time a lot of the times. But those ads, those are people probably being paid to be in those ads, and they don't always reflect the reality of the lifestyle. And that's what we're here to portray, to put out there, and just kind of make people aware. And yeah, we know there's going to be haters and people are going to troll and be rude, but that's their closed mindedness and their problem. We're not here to please them, so is what it is. But hopefully with the awareness and with just talking, people will listen. I will understand more lifestyle truths, and maybe we can help someone that's on a journey that's new. And to me that makes it all worth it. Like just knowing someone listened and appreciated it and maybe got something out of it. So, because there's a lot of myths out there about swingers, about non-monogamy that just aren't true. So, especially when you're new, having people to listen to that are just telling their stories, that just talking about the lifestyle can really be helpful.
I wouldn't say that they're not true. It's just more, it's not as prevalent as what people want to make it out to be.
That's
There,
true.
because there's reasons why stories come about. There's a truth to every story to a certain extent, but
But
we
that's
want
not the
to,
majority.
right. It's not the majority. You're
Yeah.
hearing the one off
Mm.
because from what I've learned, people in the lifestyle are more health conscious and more socially aware and more respectful of your personal space. I'll
Yeah.
say it that way than most groups that I've been around, and I've been around several different groups. But to say that they're not true is kind of a misnomer, and I just that's kind
Yeah.
of a
That's
personal thing for me.
No, that's fair. Yeah, it's not that they're not true, it's just that they're not the majority. But those are the things that pique people's interest, so they get popular because when you start telling some people out there, especially the haters, that, we're just normal people, that's not interesting. They don't want to hear about that and they don't care. They don't believe it. So, but let them, if they want to believe the minority is the majority, that's on them. But, we're here to just put out these episodes and it'll be a little bit of everything. We'll always try to share some experiences we have, but also, some things we've learned along the way. It's like, hey, we did this wrong for a while and we learned, so let me let you know. But yeah, we just want to talk about it and we'll share throughout the course of this podcast mistakes that we've made. Cause believe me, we've made plenty. We're not ashamed to admit that. That's how we learn. We're human and we've learned that way. So when you're new, you're probably going to make a mistake. It's all about how you handle it though. So you'll get a little bit of all that coming along. We do hope down the road to get some people on, maybe do some interviews with some other people in the lifestyle, different type of people. So that's something to look forward to.
And another thing is that we will do is provide kind of of the events that we go to. We can give you details about it and how the club or experience was, what to expect,
Yeah.
and a review of the event.
Yeah. I think that's always good. And that's one thing I like about podcasts when people post after they've been to a club or something. It just kind of lets you get a feel for the vibe of the place a little bit. I mean, obviously not as much as go in there, but just hearing somebody talk about it and how their experience was, it's something I like to know before going in somewhere. Like I always hear from someone that's been there before I go to a new place. Um, that's new places make me nervous. We haven't had too many bad experiences with new place. We had one bad club experience once, but
Mhm.
for the most part, every place we've found has been clean, safe, good vibe, good people. But we will be sharing those experiences. And if you join us back next week for episode 2, then you will hear about our experience at the New Year's Eve party that was by Vibe. Parties by Vibe. It was our first Vibe party. We know a Vibe. They throw get-togethers. I think it's typically in the Middle Tennessee area. They throw get-togethers. They throw hotel takeovers. We've been wanting to go for a while because we're trying to expand our horizons, meet some new people, go to some different events. But we did get to go to the New Year's Eve takeover. We only got to stay the one night, not the second night, but it was a lot of fun. So we'll be talking about that on our next episode. So I think that's all I have, unless you got something else to add, babe.
No,
Good.
it'll be interesting to review the 2026 New Year's Eve party by Vibe, our first time there.
Yeah,
And
it's a good time.
yeah, it
Okay.
was we had it was a fun party. It definitely was.
All right. Well, I look forward to getting into that, but we'll say bye for now, guys. We're out. Thanks so much for joining us for the podcast, guys. Please feel free to subscribe, to give us a follow, turn on your notifications, or share the podcast with a friend. Also, give us a rating, leave comments. All those things really help out the podcast. And remember, if you have questions, you can send us a text or leave us a voicemail at if you want to connect online, our website is savageswingers.com, and you can find our Patreon group on Patreon as The Savage Swingers. We're also on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.